People off from fresh water. Republican Senator Bill Hagerty of Tennessee joins us now for more. Senator, thank you very much, sir, for taking the time to share your thoughts with us this morning. I know that your state is going through a lot right now. I don't think the rest of the country still fully understands the magnitude of the issues on the ground. Senator, you've been surveying and assessing the damage. Could you share with us what you've seen?
Well, again, thanks for the opportunity to share this with America and with the people around the world. The devastation is enormous here. Just to put it into perspective, they talk in terms of events that occur 1 in 100 years, 1 in 200, sometimes an event like this 1 in 500 years. We've seen one of those back in 2010, very concentrated around Nashville. This is one in greater than 1,000 years. We've never seen anything like this, Chris. And it was explained to me, if you looked at the volume of water that came down through this rainfall, this storm, and spread it across the state of Tennessee, it would equate to a depth of 3 feet of water across the entire state. Just let that soak in for a moment. I was talking with the director of the Newport, Tennessee Utility District yesterday. He told me as the water came in, it was ankle deep, and then he started seeing it moving. He told his men to run. In 5 minutes' time, it was chest deep. That's like a tidal wave hitting. It's going to forever change the terrain in this part of the country. I was with Mayor Woodby yesterday in Clark County. She was telling me about the Black Hawk helicopters that I just saw her get off of. She disembarked a Black Hawk helicopter to come talk with me. They're running water generators, supplies. She said she needs oxygen. They're having to use helicopters because these towns and cities are cut off. They've lost the bridge access. They've lost road access. There's no way to get there except by military helicopter. And I have to say our National Guard has stepped up tremendously. As of yesterday afternoon, there are going to be between 220, 250 guardsmen on the ground there. We've got to continue to accelerate this. We've got to get debris removal crews in here now. FEMA's got to step up, and I think they're doing everything they can, working with our local Tennessee emergency management to step up, get resources here, assess the situation immediately. The water's receded adequately now to see the massive extent of damage, but people are hurting very, very badly right now. As I said, we need oxygen for people that have to have this. We've got to get these to people who are landlocked and cannot access roads and highways to get out of their area. Helicopters is the only mean access right now.
Senator, you alluded to it. Let's build on it. Are you getting all the help you need from the federal government?
Yeah, my job is to make certain that we do. And I spoke with the White House yesterday. I'm sure I will speak with them again today, just to continue to update them and make certain that we keep pressure on the situation. I think all eyes were pointed toward Florida in the beginning. That was the initial landfall, but the resources have been diverted there. Far more are needed up here in Tennessee right now. Same is true in North Carolina. I talked to my colleague Ted Budd yesterday. Western North Carolina hit extremely hard. And what happens is you've got whole communities that are isolated. They don't have water. The water management system here is in enormous trouble. Wastewater management. There are several systems that are completely out, meaning people are on boil alerts. They can't even get water through the pipes. And if you can imagine how water gets to some of these communities, they use bridges, not only to transport vehicles and people, but those bridges have pipes running underneath them that they're using for water supply. Those bridges are out. The water supply is gone. Electricity, a big issue. Tennessee Valley Authority, largest utility in America, the most sophisticated when it comes to water management and dam management systems. They've done a tremendous job getting people back online, but we still probably have 16,000, 18,000 people that don't have access to electricity. Thankfully, it's the fall. The weather is relatively mild, but this is a serious, serious challenge. And what we've got to do right now is manage the level of our lakes, manage the dam system so that we can get this water moving out of here, because there's another storm brewing in the Atlantic that, if it turns the wrong direction, could be here again in another week.
Senator, it's great to hear that you're getting all the help you need right now. Biden was asked, though, yesterday if Congress should return for a special session. He said that is something I may have to request, but no decisions have been made. Do you think Congress needs to return to make sure places like Tennessee continue to get that aid that you so desperately need?
I would be all for that. I know that we're looking at every way to accelerate funding right now, but this is a critical situation, one that we've got to address. And if additional emergency funding needs to be put through, we should get to Congress. We can do it in a day, but we need to do everything we can. We have citizens that are literally, they're going to get worse by the day as they don't have access to water, they don't have access to electricity, and importantly, don't have access to critical medical care, as I mentioned, access to oxygen or other, you think about kidney dialysis, those sorts of things. This is going to get critical and more and more severe as we move along. The ground is also saturated. So if we do have another event, it's going to be much worse. So we really have to deal with this as rapidly as possible and resource this very, very quickly.
You talked about the power outages. A lot of the reports we're seeing is that a lot of people can't even call 911. Do you have a timeline of when potentially you're going to get power lines back up and running?
The Tennessee Valley Authority is working night and day on this. I met with many crews yesterday. I was with the TVA team a good part of the day yesterday. They're getting power up as quickly as they can. An important piece of this, though, is getting broadband back up, because our wireless system isn't working in that area. So we have a lot of people that are missing. I talked to the school principal yesterday. He's missing a number of the children in the school. That doesn't mean that they are in harm's way, but he can't communicate with them. That is creating a tremendous amount of anxiety for families here, as you can imagine. They don't know where their loved ones are. They don't know how to reach them. And it's going to make it extremely difficult to locate folks until we can get that system back up. So Tennessee Valley Authority is working night and day on this aspect, too, as are the carriers.
Have there been any discussions about Starlink? I know that that was one thing that was floated.
Yeah, Starlink is being implemented right now. I was with emergency responders yesterday. They were uploading Starlink, so that is being utilized right now. At this point, it's only with emergency responders. We'll continue to see how we can broaden that access, but as you note, communication is going to be very critical, and Starlink may be an important part of that.
Senator, you mentioned that the land was saturated, and if we get another event, you could see just a real escalation of a lot of the trauma that's been experienced. How do you develop the land and sort of recover from this and give people the confidence that there are new safeguards in place to really protect should there be another massive storm that comes through?
Well, as I said, this storm was so unique. The magnitude of it's something that we haven't seen in recorded history. It's a greater than 1 in 1,000 year event. At the same time, though, this has put us in a much more vulnerable situation for the next big storm that comes along. So the saturation of the ground, the fact that we already have water treatment facilities that are out, it's going to require incredible management just over the next week to make certain that we're in the best possible condition to take another hit like this. I'll just share with you a snippet, a story of what's happened here just over the past couple of days. An important bridge, a critical bridge to get to a community was tested. The bridge was okay, but a 2,000-yard segment at the approach had been washed out. The local county managers are out trying to assess what to do, and a gentleman came up and he said, you know, I've got a bulldozer. Maybe I can help. They said the next thing they knew, he brought several more pieces of equipment. He brought more friends, and in about 36 hours, they worked through the night. They had rebuilt this 2,000-yard section. That bridge is open now. That's a Tennessee volunteer for you. We are seeing outpour of help and volunteerism like we've never seen before. But we actually need resources and equipment, as I mentioned, debris removal equipment, things that the National Guard can provide that require certain expertise, getting electricity back up, getting water management up. It's going to take some time. It's going to take resources. And thank you for giving me the chance to explain this to the people of America.
No, thank you for your time, sir. I think that's a good place to finish this conversation. If people outside of the state want to help, what's the best way they can contribute to your efforts?
The Red Cross and the Salvation Army are on site right now. They have networks in place that are very good at working with this. The Tennessee Emergency Management Association on the ground here knows exactly where the critical points are. That's for people that want to actually come volunteer, help, and work. And we've got a tremendous amount of damage to work through. This is going to take not days, not weeks. It's going to take months to navigate through this, in some cases with massive infrastructure that's been damaged, even longer than that. But I'll say this, our dam system has held up remarkably well. The Tennessee River is an incredible water system. We've put it in place over decades, and it has proven to be extraordinary. I was at the operations center yesterday that the Tennessee Valley Authority uses to manage all the various water levels that they've got to do to get water moving from a higher lake to a lower lake to the next lower lake. And it's incredible what they've been able to do and accomplish. The damage would have been far worse had we not had this technology in place.
Well, you and the people of Tennessee are in our thoughts. Thanks for being with us this morning, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you. Senator Bill Hagerty there of Tennessee. A difficult moment for that state and many states across this country right now.
And we're just